Hello everyone, welcome to NerdGoblinart. I'm Lula. Right then, it is the summer collaboration which Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner has arranged this year. So I'm going to start creating and I'm going to make a scene from one of the best summer movies ever. Jaws, of course. Let's go play. I'm back again at my desk. I've got some paints ready and I've got this 3D print of Jaws attacking the orca. It's obviously not a precise model, but we'll go with it. And I have this like bell type jar type thing that from Hobbycraft, and I've got some sea glass. We'll see what I'm doing with that later, but first I want to paint this. I have a red medium, cad red, titanium white, phthalo blue, burnt sienna and Mars black. I may or may not use all of those colours. They are heavy body paints by Liquid-X and I'm just using them. So I've got my water ready and I'm going to be doing, this is kind of the messy stage. Now this model has been sprayed, it's been primed. So what I'm doing is basically giving it its ugly first kind of base coat. Now, if you are familiar with Jaws the movie, which is one of my all-time favourite films, and I know it's a horror type, thriller type kind of thing, but to me it screams summer. It really does. It's it's Amityville and it's the beach. So, take from it what you will. I am not a summer girl. I really don't like hot weather. I'm very much in the veins of loving autumn, and I really do love autumn time. I really don't like the heat. So this is the best thing I could come up with for a summer collaboration, because I'm really not into all the summer things. I don't like any of it. I'm sorry. I'm a goblin. What can I say? So I'm just painting up the model. Now in the movie, the orca is captained by Flint, and the orca is a small boat and it has a black belly. Then we have some white and then it has red lining on it. It does have sails and stuff like that, but that isn't part of this print. So I'm working up my colours, and I know that I've probably broken your ears by now that I like to work in layers. And I've already used some Mars black mixed with some titanium white and the phthalo blue. Now that gives an ideal base coat for when you want to have something white. You don't just paint white, because nothing's purely white, not really. And that's why I like to start off with a darker base coat and then work and work my way up. And Jaws isn't too bad to paint. I started off with just the darker mixture of the phthalo blue and Mars black with a little bit of the titanium white, and then just go into the titanium white a little bit more. It's always worth having a look at pictures as well. You can Google things like this. Oh, and by the way, I will pop the link to the file for the print down below, but I am pretty sure you can buy these prints if you are interested and you don't have a 3D printer. I am very, very sure that you can actually find them from sellers on eBay and Etsy, if you are interested. But the file is there if you do happen to have a 3D printer. Now I've painted this little model before because I've sold quite a few of them in the shop, and This particular one has been printed on our resin printer, and you know, it's a very lovely print, but it also works absolutely perfectly on the bamboo filament printer as well. So although it's quite small, it's still perfectly good on either printers. So, you know, go for it if you happen to have one. So I'm happy now with more of that base colour, so it's time to start working up a little bit. Now I am aware that I'm editing in between because this video would have been over an hour long, and I didn't want that because today's a collaboration and I'm just wary of other creators, and I didn't want to take up a whole hour of time, and I wanted to keep it more to a half an hour slot. But honestly, if you are interested in the longer paints and such as that, I do tend to put them on more like on, say, a Monday is when I do tend to do my longer projects. So I'm just adding some titanium white mixed in with the phthalo blue into the parts of the gills and around the mouth of the shark. They're not all one monotone colour, they're not just grey, they're a grey type blue from all the pictures you'll see. And of course, you know, if you're a fan of Jaws, he was called Bruce. If you didn't know that, they actually called him Bruce. And what's really interesting as well about the movie is you don't actually meet Jaws until really far on into the film. Now, it kind of did happen on purpose in a way because it allowed for the thrill of it and for the scare, but for the fact as well that as a robot it was, you know, really technical for its time, but it kept breaking down. And they were actually filming on the sea as well. It's crazy, you know, what they did and how, you know, pretty much dangerous it could be, you know, with the lady at the beginning. Her name suddenly escaped me, but I did know it. You know, when she's thrown around, she's actually in the sea and she is attached to a rig, you know, and she could have got really badly hurt, really, you know. So it's a cool film. I just love the film and I love the making of. I've got the DVD that they brought out, all the backup, all the interviews and stuff like that, the making of. I love watching the making of films. I'm a big fan of stuff like that. Right, I am using my smaller, I'm trying to dry brush, but I think I'm having a little bit of an off day, if I'm honest, with painting. I couldn't seem to get what I wanted, but I think as much as I'm to blame for this, I think I was using the wrong brushes. I don't have as many smaller brushes anymore. I need to replace a lot of them because they've gone through years of abuse, and I do mean it's been quite a few years of abuse, and a lot of them are coming to the end of their usefulness now. So I'm going into the cadmium red. Just remember as well, your colours, especially acrylics, they dry darker. So this cadmium red will dry pretty, you know, quite a bit darker. So I've got the medium red next to it because it's more of a light red. It's more like a tomato red, so I can use that to add my highlights. You know, if you want to brighten your red, you can't really do that with the titanium white because what's it going to do? It's going to turn it pink. And it's not pink, it's red. You can use zinc white if you want to brighten a colour but not lose the colour, so to speak. I couldn't find my zinc white. I may have used it all and completely forgotten. But you can add different shades of your reds as well. So that's why I tend to go, and you can control it as well. If I didn't have the medium red, I would have started my base with mixing the cadmium red with black. So you start with your darker tone first, and then as it dries you bring it into the lighter until you're using perhaps just the cad red on its own to give it that little pop that you want. So the Orca isn't a new ship or boat. It is quite scruffy looking, so I don't want it to appear like it's perfectly white in parts, and that's why I started with the darker mixture. And if you're just new or starting out painting, phthalo blue and titanium white is absolutely perfect for this kind of thing, and also the burnt sienna. Now burnt sienna and titanium white they are my favourite combination to use when I'm painting like a snow, if I'm putting like a landscape and creating a snow type effect. So that's what the burnt sienna is absolutely ideal for. But I do use the burnt sienna more so for the inside of the ship. That bit was a bit more difficult. I really needed to be able to hold the model because, as you can see, it's very small. I did have to bring it very close to myself, so I don't actually record myself painting the inside of the ship or the boards of it, but you will see the finishing product at the end. I keep accidentally catching parts that I don't want to catch, so it's fine. You just let it dry and you just go back over it and neaten it up. It is a small model and I'm getting older so my eyesight isn't what it used to be, so yeah, I'm a little bit more clumsy than usual. So I will be tidying it up as I go. You might see me doing it, you might not, because as I say, the length of the video. So tidying up, and I'm wanting to make the doorways, I just wanted to like link the colour of that red band that goes around the boat to the aesthetics inside it as well. And I can dirty this up also later on with either using a wash, or I can make a wash, which is quite easily done. I found this bit a little bit difficult, going in a circle and not being too untidy, but I got there eventually. It feels like a while since I've done this model. I don't think I've actually painted one of these in about a year, but it's a fun little paint, and I so enjoy painting little things like this. And the shark as well. I don't think I caught it on camera painting the inside of his mouth, but I did add a little bit of the cadmium red with the tiny bit of titanium, and very carefully went in there with a very small brush. I believe it was on camera, but I don't think I showed you the right angle when I was doing it. So there's lots of stopping and starting with this kind of a paint. Well, paint job I should say, because it really works well with dry brushing. So it's a case that you need to let your layers dry in between. You can help them along if you want to use a hair dryer on a cool setting. Just be aware that if you don't dry them completely, you can cause colour shift. So I'm really happy with this and how it's coming along. And as you can see, I have used burnt sienna in the base. And what I've done here is I've added some water to one of those little nubs and popped in some of the burnt sienna as well. And I'm just giving it a wash over just to dirty it up a little bit, because as I said, this isn't a clean boat at all. It's a working fisherman's boat, so I want it to look a little bit scruffy and grungy, so to speak. and that works really good for that. I do often use like a wash, one of the Citadel washes, but I thought just in case you don't have it, I just wanted to show you that it is quite easy to, you know, do the same sort of effect. It probably would have worked a little bit better, in all honesty, with some burnt umber, but that's fine. I'm happy with it. And I'm also going to start now with the colour. Look at that. Isn't he wonderful? I'm so pleased with that shark because he's so small to paint. It's like, oh, but he's good. He's good, and it's looking good. I'm happy. So into the phthalo blue with the titanium white while I throw it on the table. So this is where I'm just going to start bringing out the colour of the ocean. And I want to leave some of the darker tones that I'd already painted in using the phthalo blue with the Mars black. But of course, you know, there's shadow in water and you can clearly see these are like waves. So I'm not being neat and I'm not covering it all up in the one colour because that just wouldn't look right. It would look very two-dimensional, and we don't want that. So you bring up the tones, you bring up your layers, and now I'm moving on to a mixture of some titanium white with the phthalo blue, and this is just the first of the highlights, and I will be going over it again, taking out more of the phthalo blue and just concentrating more on titanium white on its own. And I'm doing it in a brush motion just to hit basically the tips of the waves. I'm not worrying about going in between or under, I'm just going across them. And my brush is barely wet. That's the idea of the dry brushing. You only have a slightly damp brush. You then brush off, so as you could just see me doing, then you brush off the excess on paper or tissue, whatever you have, and then do your dry brushing. So there we are. That's going to have a little dry. And I'm going to clean out my brush. If possible, don't leave your brushes sitting in your water. That's how you do damage them. You know, it's good to clean them out and then let them, you know, leave them on their side. And make sure you do clean them out afterwards as well. Don't just leave them like this. Go and wash them and let them dry. So this is just titanium white now. There's no other colour mixture in here, just the titanium white. And I'm just brushing it off because I don't want it too heavy because it'll undo all the work I've already done. So, you know, basically lightly, I am dancing over those waves. So I am finished and really happy with that paint job. It could be sealed. You can spray them with spray varnish or Mod Podge, whatever you wish. But I'm happy for it to look like this. I'm going to be using these pieces of sea glass and my nifty new glue gun bought using coffees bought by you guys. So thank you so much. I have finally got a cordless glue gun and I'm very excited because my other glue gun was driving me mad. Such a small cord. So using this, and yes, I do burn my finger. This new glue gun is a lot stronger than my other one. It did actually get me a blister, bless me. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments, your shares. I truly appreciate it. It really, really does help my channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. It helps me. It helps my channel. It helps me be seen. And, you know, it just means that I'm able to continue making content. And I really love doing this kind of thing. I also have a membership going on. It's $3.99 a month. There's no levels. It's just that cost. And, you know, you'll get sneaky peeks, you'll get early access video at least once a week. And where possible, I am trying to do a members exclusive video once a month, but it's not always possible to happen because of so many collaborations and such as that. But there is access to the Nerd Goblin album, which is pretty cool as well. So there we go. So I'm just making sure that I can still fit him in, because that opening isn't very big, and you know, the shape of the boat going in, you don't want to get caught or anything like that. I've also had a few people mentioning that they really love the mental health matter stickers. Now, I am really big on mental health. I am an anxiety sufferer, and I suffer with depression, and I do have PTSD. You know, I won't go into the reasons why I have all those bits and pieces. This isn't the place right now for it. Sometime maybe I will. But it does matter, and creating art is what makes everything easier for me. You know, it keeps my mind occupied. I need to have a busy mind, and creating things, it's my outlet. It's what works for me. It really did save my life. So, just know you're not alone. You are never, ever, ever alone, But I want to get that message out that it does matter, and we get it. Unfortunately, you will meet people in life that don't and don't understand it, but there's so many of us that actually do. So, we see you, we got you. You're never, never, never alone. So, I am continuing to build this up, and I had to grab a few extra sea glass pieces, and I wanted them to look a bit higgledy-piggledy. There's not really a design to this. I think you can tell that from the fact that it's me. I do tend to wing these things. I have, like I said, I have made this before, but kind of different to this, and my confidence has built since I first ever tried doing it. The hot gun is working really well. I will link it in the description box below. It wasn't gifted, it was used with money made purely from this channel, and I will link it. Like I said, there's no discount code, unfortunately, but I'm really enjoying using it, and it's not massively expensive, so there we go. Right, I've picked up some sparkle Mod Podge. Yes, somebody has actually complained to me the way I say Mod Podge, because I say it wrong. Unfortunately, I do have, believe it or not, I have a speech impediment, and it's why I sometimes overpronounce some words. It's how I'm able to kind of pronounce them, because I think many of you have noticed that I don't always say the right words, it's not only brain fog, because that's what I get, especially in the afternoons. It's not just brain fog, it is also a speech impediment, so yay to me. But Johnny from Johnny Dark's craft store, I can't say, I'm so sorry Johnny, I can't pronounce it, and it is my fault, but I will link him. He's an awesome channel. He is one of my favourite channels to watch. He said we should start calling it Merge Perch. And that really made me laugh, and it cheered me up. So it's Merge Perch, it's no longer the other word, so there we go. It's also sparkly. Oh my gosh, it is sparkly. So I'm doing this because of the other side, the underside of this glass jar is showing like the glue splodges, and I don't like that. So I thought I'd use these bubble things that I got from Temu, and I'm so pleased. It is so, so pretty. I'm going to bring you down. Don't worry, I will be bringing you down so we can have a look. And there are going to be pictures at the end as well. But excuse the mess behind over there, the fan and everything. Excuse that. But look at it. It wasn't difficult, and I really hope that I've inspired I have inspired some of you guys to maybe have a go at something like this. I've really had fun. You know, this is a collaboration, as I said right at the start. So please check out everyone in the playlist, which I will link down below in the description box. It's just great. It's awesome to support other artists and other channels and really help each other be seen and pick up some new fans, perhaps. I say fans, you know, but subscribers, you know, who maybe are like you and love this kind of thing. So that's my piece. Check out the playlist below. Thank you, Claire, for hosting us this year. Love you and stay weird.
In a room full of colors and swirls, NERDGOBLINart draws a magic world, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance, a whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide, in enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. NERDGOBLIN paints life in every brush, animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they